Hello everyone, it's Annie and I am here with a book tag video, which is something I haven't done for quite a while, so that's exciting. I am doing the Accomplished Woman book tag, which is based on the scene in the Pride and Prejudice movie, and I guess the book too. I haven't read it in a long time. When Mr. Darcy and Caroline Bingley are walking around and talking about the attributes of an accomplished woman in, that time, that society that they lived in. So this is kind of an interesting book tag. I'll have the creator linked down below, and I am excited to get started. So my goal for this tag is to talk about books that I haven't really talked about a lot on my channel yet, because I tend to go for the same books that I really, really love, but I also have a lot that I don't talk about a lot that I think more people should know about, so I'm going to try and do that with this tag. The first question is music, your favorite literary musician. So I'm going to talk about Opal and Nev, the final revival of Opal and Nev. This is a kind of historical fiction book about a black singer named Opal who kind of teams up with this British guy named Nev to become a very popular rock duo who are like kind of infamous because of an incident that happened at a concert involving a Confederate flag. And I love Opal's character so much in this book. This book I read for my Women's Prize for Fiction vlog, which I don't think will be up by the time this video goes up, but definitely check it out when it is, because it's on the long list and hopefully the short list. I really, really love this book. I love Opal so much. She is so unique. She has alopecia, so she's not like traditionally beautiful, but she's so confident. And just the way that she comes across in the interview style that this book is written in was so, so interesting. And she really felt like a real live person, like she would have really existed, even though she is fictional. So I really enjoyed this book a lot and I highly recommend it. The next question is singing, and that is to recommend a poetry collection. There were a couple that I could have recommended, but I'm going to go with The White Book by Han Kang. She's the author of The Vegetarian as well as Human X, and I really love her writing. I love her books. This is a poetry collection translated from Korean to English, that all of the poems are based on white objects. Like I remember some of them were based on snow and other things like the moon and things like that, and it's just her musings on those things and how they relate to her life. And I just remember that the language was super, super beautiful, and I rated it 5 stars. It was so gorgeous. And I think that even though The Vegetarian by Hong Kong is so popular, this book really gets overlooked a lot. So I highly, highly recommend this if you're looking for a good poetry collection, especially a translated poetry collection. The third question is drawing, which is a book with a beautiful cover. So I have a few that I know I always talk about, but some that I don't always talk about are first The Forest of Stolen Girls by Junher. This is a historical mystery set in Joseon, Korea, which is all of Junher's books pretty much so far. And this is such a beautiful, beautiful cover. I love the contrast. I love the illustration style, and I love the red lettering against this black and white background. It is so, so gorgeous. This book follows a sister trying to figure out where her sister has been taken, like she's disappeared, and she's trying to figure out this mystery that's going on because she finds out that a lot of other girls have disappeared as well. And I love Junher's strong female characters, and it's just so great. Another book for this prompt is In the Quick by Kate Hope Day. This is one of my favorite covers of all time. It's simple, but it's really, really striking because in a lot of sci-fis you don't find pink covers, and I absolutely love the style of this so, so much. I also really like the spine too with these little stars. I love it. I love this like really bubblegum pink. This is about a girl named June whose uncle was the designer of a spaceship engine, and eventually he dies, and the people who were on the spaceship whose engine he designed disappear, and June goes to astronaut school, I guess you could say, to kind of try and solve this mystery. And she goes to space, and it's really, really good, really underrated. I love it. I have a review of it on my channel if you can check that out. I really, really enjoyed this book a lot, so I highly recommend it, and it is a gorgeous cover. The next prompt is Dancing, which is a book with a lively plot. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but one of the first books that I thought of for this is Dreadnought, which is such an amazing story about a trans girl superhero. It is so, so good, and it took me a really long time to read this. It came out in like 2016, 2017, and I immediately put it on my TBR, and I only read it last year. And it is so good and so underrated. I don't know why no one talks about it. It is so cute and really heartwarming, and I just love it. It's a pretty standard superhero origin story, like the unsuspecting person, gets powers, and instead of, having regular powers, they actually get changed into the body that they feel like they should have. So it's so good. It's a really, really great book, really, really fun, and I just think that it is so underrated and people really need to read this. The next is Modern Languages, your favorite translated fiction. This is hard for me because I have so many books that I like to read that are translated. So I'm going to say Breasts and Eggs by Miyako Kawakami. This is a book that we recently read for the Found in Translation book club that I co-host, and I loved this book so much. I gave it 5 stars. It follows the lives of 3 Japanese women, and it's just so good. It's interesting because it looks at like their place in society and the issues that they face. It deals with things like breast implant surgery and trying to have a child and things like that. It is so good. I really, really enjoyed the writing. And it also has interesting things like to do with dialect as well. I just love this book so much, and I think I'm definitely going to read Miyako Kawakami's other books. And of course there's other translated works that I really, really love, and I have a video recommending a lot of my favorites that you can check out too. The next question is Something in Her Air and Manner of Walking. So this prompt is a book with a strong atmosphere. So I have 2. The first is Piranesi. I really liked this book. This is a really short book that packs a big punch. It is very strange and very atmospheric. It's about this guy named Piranesi who is stuck living in this labyrinth place with all these white marble statues and columns, and there's really no one else there most of the time except for him and the birds and the sea, and it is so atmospheric and really, really it's just so mysterious and I loved it so much. I don't want to give anything else away. But the other one is The Midnight Girls. I really liked this. This is an enemies to lovers sapphic book about 2 witches in a Polish-inspired fantasy. And it's so good. I have a vlog where I read it. And I think that the atmosphere of this book is one of its strongest attributes. The Polish-inspired world that they live in is so magical. And it was also so great to read during the winter because it felt very cold. Like there's this scene where they go ice skating and it was just like, ooh, I love it. It felt like a magical winter wonderland and it was so good and very, very atmospheric. The next is The Tone of Her Voice, Her Address, and Her Expressions. And that is a book with beautiful writing. Obviously there are a lot of books I could have chosen for this, but I am choosing Plain Bad Heroines by Emily Danforth. I remember reading this and listening to it actually, and just the prose in this is gorgeous. Really, really good. This is also really atmospheric. It fits both because it's very gothic, dark academia fiction. It is just amazing. It's a little bit convoluted. It deals with 2 timelines, well, 3 timelines. One is a girls' boarding school where some girls mysteriously die, and then the other main timeline is 3 actresses who are cast to play these girls, and they actually go to the now abandoned boarding school and shoot a film there. And the film might be cursed, who knows? It is so good, so gloriously sapphic as well, and the prose is just to die for. The next, second to last prompt is the improvement of her mind by extensive reading, and that is what is my next read. So I have a lot of books that I have on Libby right now. I'm not sure what's going to be my next one, but one that I'm really excited about is The Way Spring Arrives, which is a collection of translated short stories. They're translated from Chinese, all by women and non-binary authors and creators. So everyone involved with this book is either a woman or non-binary, and that's really exciting. It's a bunch of sci-fi short stories and essays, so it is super exciting. If you know my videos, you know that I read Synopticon pretty recently, and I did enjoy it, but a lot of the stories I felt were kind of sexist. So yeah, I'm hoping that because this is written by women and non-binary authors, that this will definitely be a better reading experience, because I do find that I really love reading translated sci-fi a lot, because you just get so many different perspectives and everybody has something different to say and something new that I never would have thought about before. So I'm really excited for this, and also the cover is really pretty. And the last question is whether I would be considered accomplished by Darcy and Caroline's standards. And I don't think so, no. I can't dance, I can't play any instruments. Yeah, I don't think I would be considered that accomplished, but that's okay. That's okay. I still love Darcy. I still love Pride and Prejudice. If you know me, you know that that is one of my favorite classics and just favorite books in general of all time. So yeah, I'm really glad that I could do this book tag based on Pride and Prejudice. It was so much fun, and I'm happy that I got to do another book tag. So thank you so much for watching, and like and subscribe to my channel for more bookish videos. I'll see you next time. Bye!